Sadie is a 14-week-old Australian Shepherd Labrador mix. So it should be pretty interesting. I'm told she has lots of energy. The owner's a little frustrated. The dog is chewing on her arms, which is a common puppy trait. Puppies test their limits of behavior, real common. So she wants to stop that, of course. Dog has boundless energy, doesn't walk properly on a leash. And the dog just has some issues, basic puppy things. So here we go. Nice farmhouse. You don't see many of these in Detroit. Dawn?
Hi, Brian.
Hi, Brian Donovan. How are you?
Yeah, just fine. Come on in.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Okay, where's that monster I've heard so much about?
In the garage. Sadie?
Hey, Sadie.
Come and meet Brian.
Hey, Sadie lady.
Want to come and meet Brian?
She looks pretty comfortable in there.
Yeah, she likes
How
it.
you doing, Sadie?
She doesn't like it with the door closed, but
Very unique looking dog.
Yes.
Sadie, how you doing, sweetie? She's about 14 weeks, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and you have some issues with the mouthing, a little excessive mouthing?
chews on everything, me included.
Okay, all right, so I suppose you want to stop that, right?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely, definitely.
All right, okay, now you mentioned she was, she's mouthing, why don't we sit here?
Okay.
She's mouthing a lot when you try to do things with her, like put the leash on,
Right.
or when you're petting her even?
Right,
She'll mouth
yeah,
you?
yeah.
Okay. Now the reason why puppies do that is, I'm sure you've noticed that puppy teeth are very sharp.
Yes.
The reason why puppies mouth like that is that's how they learn the limits of their puppy behavior, biting. Dogs are pack animals, which means that they have to learn how to function within a pack, how to treat each other very gently. And with those sharp teeth, they don't have to bite very hard in order for it to hurt the other members of the pack. What happens in a dog family is when a dog bites another dog too hard, there's retaliation. And the dog has a natural instinct of behavior to settle down when another dog does that retaliation. So what we're going to do, we're going to simulate that behavior. Now typically what a dog will do, an adult dog for instance will scruff her or maybe kind of grab her real quickly and growl at the same time.
Okay.
And what will happen is the dog will have a response to that that may vary from a stressful response, crying, to just absolute submission. So what we're looking for is when a puppy is overpowered or corrected by an older dog or even one of the litter mates, what she'll do is she might fight for a second and then she'll just kind of give in. And when she does that, then we praise her. We're going to let her know that that's the behavior we want, is for her to just relax, okay?
Okay.
So now she's a little bit big for this exercise. Typically, we like to start this exercise when a dog is 8 weeks old. So we'll see how far we can get with it. It may take a few minutes, and then she'll let us know how far we can get and how quickly we can go with the exercise.
Okay.
All right? Say, for instance, you want to cut her nails, or you're trying to put a leash on her, or you're trying to control her. That's when the mouthing starts. And what people don't understand or they don't realize they're doing is they actually cause the stress. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab her paw. Now what a normal puppy will do, when I grab her paw, she's going to want to pull her paw away. She's not going to want me to hold on to it. And then if I don't let go, she'll pull it more and more, and eventually she'll start sniffing my hand, and then maybe nibbling at my hand, and then she'll start biting. And what this is demonstrating is how the stress pattern starts. See how the dog's starting to bite now?
Right.
And so say, for instance, I was cutting her nails or trying to groom her, or just put a leash on her. If she doesn't like what I'm doing, she's going to react with the biting. Now I'm just holding onto her paw. I'm not hurting her, and you see the stress. She's starting to get more stressed. So
Right.
this is typically what happens. Now a dog will remember the last thing that happens in a training situation. So if the last thing that happens is her fighting and being uncomfortable, then the next time I try to cut her nails, it's going to get, oh, she's starting to bite hard now. It's going to be even worse,
Yeah.
okay? So what I want to do is I want to back her out of this, so we put her in a position where she actually, see how she's even crying now?
Yeah.
So she actually learns to settle down rather than gets more and more stressed.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
For this, what I'm going to do, since she is so large, I'm going to sit on the floor, and I'm going to put her on her back, and and if she struggles, I'm going to simulate that correction that she would get from another dog, okay?
Okay.
So we have her on her back, and of course she probably wants to flip back over. So what another dog would do is, dog language, they don't say no, but a dog will certainly growl at her if the dog's getting a little out of control or a little too rambunctious. And it'll sound something like this. The mother dog, for instance, might grab her, "Arr!" and grab her like that, and then, good girl, good.
Oh,
now you see the tail start to flail around? No, no, so we're gonna use the word no, good girl, good. And the more she struggles, the more we correct, and then when she relaxes, I relax my grip.
Certain grip when you grabbed her
When
there?
I grabbed her, no, it's not really a certain grip so much as it is, I'm using my fingertips, almost like another dog's mouth. So I'm just kind of grabbing her a little bit. So no particular area. The principal, I guess, feature of that exercise is you want it to be quick.
Okay.
No. Try to simulate what a dog would do to a puppy. So again, if the puppy fought or if she was being too intrusive, the other dog would just anywhere she'd grab her, and then you see the dog's response, and then she settles.
Okay.
Now you couldn't do this exercise with a cat. You see, because cats don't have that instinct to settle. The more you try to settle them down, the more they would fight.
Right.
Good girl. We're gonna do this a few more times. Good. Now the whole time she's relaxed, I'm going to praise her. And if she fights, I'm gonna correct her. Good girl. Now I'm gonna start grabbing her paw, okay? No. If she fights, see the reaction? She'll fight a little bit, and then she relaxes. No. Good girl. No. Good girl. Good. And the younger you start this exercise, the better. Like I said, she's a little bit at the tail end of the effectiveness of this exercise. Right. We want to start when they're about 8 weeks. But you can do this exercise up until they're about 14 or 15, starting it, that is. Right. And then once they understand how to respond to this, then they'll take this with them the rest of their life. So anytime you're grooming the dog, or trying to cut her nails or something, she'll be more relaxed. Okay, now I'm going to take the paw. Remember how much trouble she gave me?
Yes.
Now I'm holding on to it. Now watch when I let her go. When I let that paw go, see, she's not fighting, she's not pulling away. Good
Amazing.
girl. Good, that's good. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to hold on to her. Good girl. And the whole time she's relaxed, I'm going to reward her for that with this real soothing, almost a massage kind of a praise. And then I let her go. Good girl. Okay, now we're going to cut her nails. All right. Now, for most people, introducing the nail clipper to a puppy is kind of a traumatic thing because you have to hold the puppy down and cut the nails. The dog hears the nails breaking off, and the dog becomes more and more frightened as the person holds on and tries to get a better grip on the dog. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually relax the dog. No, with this exercise, combine it with the nail clipping. Good, and we'll make a lot more progress.
Right.
Okay, now we got to relax somewhat, so I'm going to take the clippers. Now initially, you just kind of touch her nails with the clippers, okay? And at first, she's going to hear it. She's not really going to like it, but as long as she's not actively fighting, good girl. I'm just going to keep, this is called desensitizing her. You just keep flooding her with this until she no longer reacts to it. Good girl, good. And then I release the lock on these clippers, and then I'll just hold on to one of the nails, okay, just like that. Good girl. Good. Her nails are pretty short. She doesn't really need a nail clipping at this point, but just so that you see on the white nails, you see this red, this little pink?
Yes.
That's the vein. It's called the quick.
Okay.
Make sure you don't cut that when you clip her nails. There's a guard on this nail clipper here. This is a real nice nail clipper to show you where, to ensure that you don't take too much off.
Yeah.
No. When she fights, you give her that correction. Good girl. Good. You praise her. And then you go about your business here. I'm going to just cut the very end of that nail off. See that? Good. We just barely clipped it there. Now, if it does bleed, the nails will bleed quite a bit. So you use a styptic powder on there to stop the bleeding. Just dab a little bit here. So you don't want to clip the nails without some styptic powder handy.
Okay.
Okay. See this dew claw nail here? Not all dogs have that dew claw. We're going to clip that. Good girl. Very nice. So when you cut her nails, you should never have to struggle with this again. Isn't that neat?
Yes.
Okay, so watch when I let her paw go. See? Good girl. That's good. And then we'll go to this one here. Good girl. And just kind of touch her nails. Now, see, at first, you can barely see she's flinching a little bit. But if I just keep doing this, she'll just stop the flinching altogether. Good dog. That's a good girl. Have you tried cutting her nails yourself?
No.
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 Did it seem like too much work, maybe, that you don't want to tackle that?
Right.
And then the back feet, you're going to run into the same problems again, where she might fight you. You see her feet kind of tuck up a little bit. But then I just keep doing this over and over. And again, we're desensitizing her. She'll relax. If I just keep doing this, she'll no longer respond in a stressful way. Good. Now this is a puppy that the reason why I'm out here is because this dog is too rambunctious, right?
Right.
Now look at her now. She's real
Hard to believe
relaxed.
it's the same dog.
And you should do an exam with her too, because you know, you might not be a vet, but it's good to look at your dog to see if anything looks like it's infected or if there's an injury.
Okay.
Look at the dog's ears. Some groomers will tell you that owners have to take their dog to the vet to sedate them just so you can clean their ears. That's
Wow.
how distrustful the dog is. So this exercise, in nature, the corollary to this exercise is the pack grooming. The pack members touch each other and they groom each other, and that's how they build a bond. So this exercise here is actually building a bond between me and the dog.
Okay.
The dog is learning to trust my touch. The dog will remember the last thing that happens in a training situation. So if the last thing that happens is her fighting, then the next time I take her to work with her, she'll be worse. But if the last thing that happens is her being relaxed, then the next time I work with her, that's what she's going to remember.
Okay.
And then so you look in her ears, get her used to this, start examining her while she's relaxed. You'll see she might
go to sleep.
Yeah, she might start falling asleep. Look at her eyes, just kind of, you know, make sure everything looks okay. There's nothing scratched. Good girl. Good. And as you're doing this, you know, touch her, you know, in a way that maybe the vet might, or the groomer. The vet and the groomer are always, they examine the dog. This prepares the dog for that sort of examination. Now here's something that a lot of dog owners wouldn't even attempt, because puppies, by their nature, they're real rambunctious. They wouldn't even think of looking at the dog's mouth to do an exam, because the dog's running around so much you couldn't even get a good exam. So while she's relaxed here, you see we can do it pretty easily. So you can look at her teeth, look at her gums, make sure nothing looks infected. And if you do see something, you know, it's good to notify the vet, because, you know, the quicker you find a problem, you know, and deal with it, usually the less stress it is on the dog.
Okay.
And it just makes for a lot more positive experience. Now, also when she's in this position, you want to introduce her to the grooming tools.
Okay.
You know, just like I said with cleaning the ears, you know, some dogs are real stressed when you clean their ears, because they learn about ear cleaning when you're holding them down, pinning them down, and they're fighting you. Every single dog, puppy, when you introduce them to a brush, the first thing they're going to do is bite the brush.
Yes, she tries to chew the brush.
Yeah, no, she kind of has a wash and wear hair coat, a nice hair coat for you know, just kind of lounging around. She doesn't need a lot of care. You know, you can let her run around the backyard. You don't have to worry about it. But you should still brush her out to, you know, to stimulate the blood vessels in the skin so that the hair stays nice and healthy. Pull out any dead hair that happens to be there. So it's healthy for the dog. So we're going to get a brush,
Okay.
and I'm going to show you how to introduce that to her while she's on her back like this.
Okay.
All right? So what do you think of Sadie now, seeing her in this position?
I'm amazed.
You're amazed.
Amazed.
She is a rambunctious dog.
Yes.
Okay, here's that brush. Now, once again, you introduce a brush to a puppy, they almost always will bite the brush, and they hear it on their skin. It sounds different than anything they've heard, and it startles them. So now when she's relaxed, I'm going to introduce her to the brush. Now, you see her twitching a little bit.
Right.
If you watch close, she's twitching a little bit, so she's a little uncomfortable with it. But I'm just going to soothe her into this. Now, of course, I'm not trying to get anything done. You know, you can't get a whole lot done with her on her back for brushing, but it gets her used to hearing that on her skin. Look at her eyes.
She's going to sleep.
Yeah, she's getting relaxed. Brush her legs and her paws, even her face. Good girl.
I've never been able to get close to her face.
No?
No, she just bites like crazy.
Yeah. Well, she will if she's not trained the right way, because, you know, most of the time people try to introduce a dog to a procedure like this by holding her down. You don't even think of anything else other than, well, I'm going to get this job done. Somebody help me hold this dog down. And then what a lot of owners will do is they'll abandon the whole process because the dog will fight.
Right.
Okay, now that you've seen me do this, okay, we're going to get her up, you know, get her excited again, and then you're going to do this.
Oh boy.
Okay, you're going to sit down here right next to me.
Okay.
And you're going to go through this whole process, because, you know, it doesn't do much good if I do all the work, right? And then I leave and you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Go ahead and have a seat.
Okay.
And ready, Sadie, you're all done, honey. You're all done. Let's get up. Come on, Sadie. Yeah. Not so fast, huh? Look at you. There we
She's
go.
asleep.
You all right?
I'm taking a nap.
Yeah, good girl. Good.
Hey, want to come over here?
And like I said, she's going to be a handful to work with because she's so big.
Right.
We typically want to start this with a younger dog, but she has a sweet temperament, you know, a real nice disposition, so figured we could start it at a little bit later age, and sure enough, she did real well.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, so you're going to take this crazy dog. We're kind of questioning your definition of crazy because
Yeah,
she looks so good now. Now hold on to the leash and make sure she doesn't get away. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to roll her over on her back.
Okay, come here, girl. Come here. Oh,
There you go.
there we go.
Yeah, it looks like a rodeo event.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so you want to secure her. Put your legs together so you
Okay.
secure her there, so she feels nice and secure. Now, the first thing, she's going to be a little uncomfortable maybe. If she starts to fight you, you're going to just, take just a handful here, just kind of dig in a little bit and just say no, okay? If she gets excited, go ahead and correct her, no. And then when she relaxes, you see her paws go down and she kind of relaxes. Good girl. Good girl. Now, after doing this a couple times, you won't have to do that correction. All you'll have to say is no, and she'll respond just as if you had corrected her. Because again, grabbing her like that, triggers that response, and associating it with the word no. Eventually, you'll be able to get by just with the word no. You won't have to do that with her, with the correction.
With a lot of things?
Yes.
I mean,
yes, with everything. Because then she'll know that tone of voice means she's done something bad. It's real common for dog owners to say, well, my dog never listens to me. I yell at the puppy all day long, no, 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 and the dog never listens. And the problem with that is, if you yell too much and there's never a physical interpretation of that, then she'll never take it seriously. Right. This way here we capitalize on something that's already in her to respond to, and then we associate it with our word. Now I want you to use the nail clippers.
I can't believe this is the same dog. I think you traded a different dog on me.
Now what you want to do is just first kind of hit it on her nails a little bit. Yeah, just so she gets. Now look at her eyes. She's sleeping almost. Okay, so she's very relaxed now. This is the frame of mind you want your dog to be in when you're teaching something like this. Remember when I was holding on to her paw? We can flip her over right now. If I hold on to her paw again, she'll fight again. So that's why you want to associate it with being relaxed rather than having it to be a contentious thing. Okay, go ahead and grab this one now. Okay, all those nails are really short. You can cut the dew claw though. That's that thumb nail right there. You're just going to barely take anything off. Just barely anything. Here, let's move the guard out of the way. And that way you'll be able to see it on the other side here. Okay. Just barely anything. Yep, that's good. There. So you just took the very tip off, and you've just associated that sound and that sensation with being relaxed. See her?
Good girl. Good girl.
All right. Now put the clipper down, then take the brush, and same thing. Start brushing her. Isn't that nice? You see how this builds a bond? Yeah. See, you're relaxed, the dog is relaxed, and she's learning to trust your touch.
And she's definitely relaxed.
This is certainly not the only way to get a dog accustomed to being handled and manipulated for grooming. We can desensitize her with treats, for instance. So when I was holding her paw earlier, we could just offer her a treat while we're doing that. And that takes a different approach. That counter conditions the dog. That will associate me grabbing her paw with something good, giving her a treat. And so we can do that as well. So there's more than one way to do this. And if you start training her later on, and I'm in Detroit, you're in Columbus, if you find a trainer in this area and they do things a little bit differently, that's okay too. Because we're looking at training a dog through principles. And the methods always serve the principle. So different trainers have different ways of handling these sorts of behaviors. All right?
Okay. What about brushing on the other side?
Brushing on the other side? Oh, you can't. You can only brush the belly.
She's only going to be pretty on the belly.
Once you've done this for about a week, brushing her, then when you're watching TV or you're relaxed with her, she doesn't have to be in this position. Okay. You can have her sitting or laying down, and then when you take the brush and go over her, she'll associate it again with this. See what's going on here? So she'll be less apt to fight. Now, if she does, then you just roll her over and you start it all over again. Okay. And then you may want to, you can even flip her over a little bit here and just, start getting the sides. Getting the side there. Go ahead and run the brush over a little bit. There you go. Yeah.
Got myself hairy.
This dog's got it too good. She's spoiled.
Spoiled Sadie.